kicking
Anybody confirmed joining us?
in. No, not yet. I have. I sent the messages out like maybe about an hour ago. I don't know exactly how much, but nobody's really confirmed on if they're going to come in or not. Pan said that he was going to come in. I just don't know exactly when. So I don't know exactly.
Maybe the second one.
Everything sounds good on Twitch. Got to hit refresh on Rumble. Now I'll go to D Live and check that out too.
Yeah, I thought Peter Madison, because that's something in the news at this present moment, Epstein, and this entire backlash going towards Keir Starmer. And also, he has got a long, interesting history, dating all the way back to 1979. Political history.
Yeah, you're talking about Keir Starmer or
Madison.
Oh yeah.
Number of cancelled by-elections in 1979.
No, I knew you wasn't going to be there last night, so I did mention him in Nancy's shows of it. Because I knew you.
Yeah, I noticed you mentioned. Yeah,
I didn't mention him. Didn't mention him by name.
You noticed you didn't actually call him by name, but you did say UK politician does resign.
Yeah. I didn't mention. Figured I'd let you mention him by name because that'd bring you pleasure to say, "This, look at this bastard. He's outed."
That lovely, amazing person.
You did actually bring up a good topic though in the conversation we had, like with the whole House of Nobles and shit, like the whole thing about resigning from the House of Lords. You know, that's interesting right there. That's something I think I'm going to check out. I forgot to do that. I got caught up in editing and everything today, but I told myself I wanted to check that out, find out what's going on there. So, okay, so I got everything set up. It looks like everything's going, and the audio sounds pretty good. So, the whole thing about I checked it on Kick, Rumble. Sounds good too. Like everything's going in the audio. So we're good to go. All right. We are here. This is Minds Roundtable weekend event. After this, I'll be doing an episode of the Quantum Gathering. Minds Roundtable usually takes us about 2 hours, 2.5 hours, however long. And
have we got any major subjects?
Yep. Well, I mean, we've never had a problem with coming up with subjects on this one.
Fair enough.
You know?
Because he said Tan wanted to presume there was some actual talking points.
Yeah, he said that he found some stuff out about Minds that he wanted to fill everybody up in on, so we should have that set up. I've got to say, man, I just finished doing that edit that on that Quantum Gathering that we did with Willie.
Yeah,
and I'm gonna tell you, man, that was so fun doing that. And it's not very many times I can actually say that something's fun, you know what I mean?
What do you mean? Everything that we do is fun.
Well, not with the editing.
Maybe.
The editing part sometimes gets a little hectic, but I actually enjoyed it. I did that, man, and it was like, my goodness, that was a good show. That really was a good show. I'm amazed with how good that show was, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
So,
can remember most of it. Yeah.
I ended up getting 2 episodes of it with Willie. Did the finished or finished up the first one yesterday or last night, and then today I've got halfway through with the conversation that we had with Willie and Willie Lee, and
Mm.
I was able to get the part where Bob Dub started busting up laughing and everything on there, man. I was like, oh my god, that was so great. So I did that. And then finally, I was able to go through and incorporate Rapid's voice into the script that we had
Oh,
for.
that must have been nightmare. All the scripts because of all of our starting and stopping and
Mhm. It was interesting. It was interesting, but like this last one, I had the the one that we did with Rapid where he was well, I forgot the name of the I forgot the name of what the thing was. It was the controller or something like that, control room or something. I was finally able to wait. No, it was a case file. I had an issue finding the one the file with the case file on it where Bob Dub did the narration because I wanted to do Bob Dub and Rapid's voice on it with your voice and Otto and V's voice all on there together, and I finally was able to get all the files together because I did them all separately and incorporated them all together. So it came to get together good. And that one was actually the shortest one, but it was the most complicated to find because of all the files that were spread out.
mm-hmm.
So, but I got it together, and that one's coming out next. And I did it because like I did it in the order that it was supposed to be. You know what I mean? Like it all actually came out like the way that we were going because that was one big concern because we did some of the readings out of order.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Of course, yeah. We didn't we me you and Muppet do one, and then we repeated that one later on that evening.
mhm. But it came out all right. Hey Otto, you doing all right with your audio?
Yeah, I guess as long as you can hear me, I can hear you guys.
Okay.
Now, I'm really, excuse me. Didn't we say something last week that Tan wanted to do something about the Book of Enoch this week?
Yeah, he's supposed to be in here before long. We just don't know exactly when. So
So I was going to try to take part in that. I'm at work right now, dog sitting,
okay.
and it's going to be a hectic evening for me because, well, we got a new dog, and he's been a little under the weather. For various and sundry reasons, he's on medication, so I think that's affecting his appetite. And I got to give him the medication, even though he doesn't want to eat anything, which is itself kind of an interesting challenge. But anyway, the dog's owner is returning this evening, so I'm kind of getting the place ready for that. And the owner should be returning, I'm figuring around 11 o'clock. So I should be able to do the quantum gathering, but not going to be able to keep it going late.
Okay.
I'm thinking because Vicky wants to join us on quantum gathering, and probably won't be tonight, I say,
No.
because you've not given enough notice. It may not be a good idea to do the Enoch thing tonight
Well,
because they want to have a. It makes more sense to have both of them.
The Enoch thing was more on a Minds Roundtable with Tan. So like with the with that, I was saying it before where I think we should probably move his show for this like to the one Wow Talk, you know, because like it was really weird for him. He felt like
I saw his message. I sort of understood. sort of agreed with him.
Because see, I'm a little bit fringe for him. He's a devout Catholic, you know what I mean? And like he's trying to actually do a presentation, make it all nice and official and stuff. And I'm talking to him about freaking esoteric stuff, and it just kind of
because Vicky's also quite devout as well.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
It makes sense to have both of them at the same time.
I mean, Vicky, Otto, and Tan would do a really good job because they stay focused to a lot of things, and whereas I need to just shut my mouth and let those guys talk, you know what I mean? And I really don't think Mr. Robot would be a good idea, to be honest with you, because he's just like
have you kissed and made up with him yet?
Well, we made up. It's just he just
okay.
It's just it's like I told him I don't want any more of that stuff put in my chat room anymore, and if he can't abide by it, then that's on him. He doesn't have to come into the chat room anymore, you know, but I don't want any of that posted in my chat no more, you know.
You have to return.
So I mean,
your house, your rules. Your house, your rules.
Right, and he just doesn't understand that. He doesn't understand, you know, like you need to respect people's wishes if it's their chat. You know what I mean? Like, don't.
Yeah.
Time for you to create an entire terms of service policy.
Sorry, Mr. Robot. You agreed to this when you came onto the chat.
Yeah.
And there are consequences.
Actually, I did
Is there
that,
a knock at the door?
I think it was on the MCR. No, it wasn't the Element Minds Help and Support community thing. I did that year before last, stated that because we were having a lot of spam and problems and people going off topic, so I put up a statement saying, if you disagree with this statement, please leave now. And then I went through a load of policies.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you know, the thing of it is I know even with me, I get way out of hand on a lot of stuff, but there's just some things that freaking needs to come to an end. Like I can't be having people coming in and, you know, talking that crap about there's a Jew behind every bush kind of crap, you know what I mean? I'm sick of it, and I'm pretty sure that most of the people who freaking
it's kind of, you know, it's such old hat, and it's like yeah JQ yeah, you know, it's the same story again and again and again, and it's the same culprits, and it's the same thing, and it gets kind of boring after a while. I don't know, it's just, I mean, I like a good conspiracy theory, but I mean,
yeah,
and it's so old. I mean, it's an ancient. I want new, interesting conspiracy theories, but, you know, actually take brain power. Not like, you know, you're warming over stuff from the Middle Ages. Okay, it's like, and I like what one guy pointed out. It's like, you know, if you're saying that, you know, such and such group of people is, you know, introducing pornography and introducing this sort of like social this and those other, well, why are you doing it? Why are you consuming it? You know, it's sort of like the end user agreement. It's like, you know, oh, they bring porn. Well, who's buying it? Who's buying the porn? Who's, you know, it's like, really?
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's really what it comes down to. It's really people just using this kind of old hack bullshit to freaking like get views. You know what I mean? And that's really what it's come down to, and for that. And then for me personally, I mean, it makes me sick. I mean, I just can't stand freaking listening to it anymore. And it's freaking, especially with a lot of the research I've done on like history and here in the last year or so, you know, it really it opens me up to a lot of different things, man. This stuff has caused a lot of problems historically, you know what I mean? It really has. And it is an issue. Like you keep allowing that kind of stuff to be preached. Freaking, you're only asking for that same shit to happen again. I mean, seriously.
Well, it's just, you know, in the culture, in like Chan culture, and I think in internet culture, that kind of is a reflection of that. this was kind of an ironic gatekeeper. Hitler did nothing wrong, whatever, just stuff like that. Because your reaction would either be, I can't even be in the same room with these people. I am tainted by, unclean leper. I mean, there was almost like a moral leprosy kind of deal in the mainstream that you at least had to pretend to believe in. Or people just said, oh yeah, right, sure, haha. It was an ironic kind of a gatekeeper. Are you going to have that hysterical reaction? Or are you just going to throw a little salute back and then get on with life kind of deal? But I think some people mistook the irony for like a serious political discussion. And I mean, if you want to talk about, the whole thing about the JQ or the IQ, the Irish question, that was a big question at one time. All these different ethnic questions, these were serious topics of discussion in like the 19th, early 20th century. I've read some Jewish writers on the Jewish question. It's very interesting to write what Jews and Europeans were saying about this stuff in the 19th and early 20th century. And a big part of it had to do with the clash of cultures. I remember one Jewish gentleman was very interesting. He talked about like different philosophical underpinnings of Jewish culture that made it different and separate from European cultures. This wasn't seen as bad or evil, but possibly a strength that you could add to your society. But certainly it was something that you could talk about sanely and not in a corrosive way or trying to use it as an excuse to turn people into second-class citizens or something like that. Yeah. But the stuff that's going on now, I think a lot of it springs from this early irony. Something that happened on Lit, which I used to go on quite a bit on 4chan, and Harold Bloom passed on. I don't know if you guys know who Harold Bloom is. He was probably he's a writer, English writer. Not an Englishman, but he was an English man. That was his forte, was the English language.
Yeah, I think the name does ring a bell.
Yeah, he was big on Shakespeare. He wrote The Invention of the Human, Shakespeare, The Invention of the Human. He wrote on the Western Canon, was another book he wrote. He was considered kind of right-wing simply because he defended the canon, which was 90%, white European dead men. But Harold Bloom was a celebrity on Lit. People loved him. They'd argue about him. They'd make fun of him. And then when he died, there was a pinned post for him, which Lit only does for literary giants. And everyone was in mourning, and there were a couple of guys on there. It's like, but he was a Jew. He was Jewish. Like, you don't get it, do you? You really don't. What are you doing here? You really don't understand. This man was one of the great giants of literature, not as a writer himself, but as a critic and as a scholar. And everybody, all the people on there were just, I think there were two people that were bringing up his race. And it's like, we might have joked about this and this came up and this and that, but just the underlying respect for a great man who passed, at least, a great man on 4chan. I mean, people argue about his merits and stuff, but I always regarded him as a wonderful, wonderful influence on my understanding of Shakespeare. I don't agree with everything he wrote. He was amazingly off on his analysis of Henry IV, I think, in some ways, with the character of Falstaff. But, I'm not going to get into that. I could talk for about half an hour, 45 minutes about Harold Bloom's interpretation of the Falstaffian character and Prince Hal. He hated Prince Hal. He really thought he was the wicked villain of that piece. For him, Sir John Falstaff was the great hero. He really thought that Hal's betrayal of Falstaff at Henry IV and in Henry V was like, he was very upset about that. This was a man who could get really upset about Shakespeare characters. There aren't too many people like that. It cut him to the quick that like Prince Hal would act that way. It's a play. It was written hundreds of years ago.
That's why I like doing the Baconian stuff, is because like you start seeing like there were a lot of people who were obsessed in that stuff. Like there's it's cool to go through and look at the Bacon conspiracy and all that stuff. You know what I mean? And I do personally believe that Shakespeare was just a pen name. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not like going to take it to the extremes that these guys did. Like they were hardcore. You know what I mean? they didn't play around when they debated over Shakespeare. They were out for blood. It might have been. Oh, go ahead.
You've got your Baconians, you've got the Stratfordians, the people that believe that the Stratford moneylender and small-time actor was the author. You've got the Marlovians, the people that think that Marlowe was the author. There are a lot of theories. I personally think Bacon makes a lot of sense. Obviously, and I always caveat, we don't know. I make no pretense of saying yes, Bacon wrote this, or Essex wrote that, or whatever. Some people think Queen Elizabeth wrote the plays. I've heard that theory. We know so little. So many records were lost, especially in the Great Fire, where apparently they were storing huge amounts of government records in a big canvas tent, a painted canvas tent that had been up for like 10 years or something. They just kept putting documents there. So so little information survives. But Bacon makes a lot of sense simply because of the depth of his learning from other comments made by people at the time, by certain dates and so forth. But I don't think we'll really ever know for sure who the author of the plays was, or indeed, I tend toward the idea that it was a committee, and we've talked about this before, that it was a group of good pens. I mean, even mainstream Stratfordian scholars will say, well, this play, for example, this looks like it was written by Middleton, and this part would look like it was written by Johnson, and Shakespeare wrote this, So it's not that far a leap to say that many, if not most, of the other plays were collaborative. And we do know that Bacon and Johnson worked very closely together, and Bacon himself talked about having a stable of good pens that were working for him all the time. And Johnson supervised. And of course, that's how I brought up before Dumas Père, Alexandre Dumas, when he wrote the Three Musketeers and all of the sequels. I mean, I've read those, they're amazing, but they're like hundreds of chapters, they're huge books. He had like 7 writers. He did the outline, gave them each a chapter outline, then he'd take it, edit it, rewrite it, and boom, he could crank out these things. It's not a new idea, and certainly it does not reduce his responsibility. I mean, as somebody said, Dumas without those other writers could have produced the work. Those other writers without Dumas did not produce the work. So obviously, I don't think it makes Dumas any less the actual author of the books. So, but yeah, it's an interesting question, and you can, like you say, Raj, you can go a little overboard, I think, because it's one thing to say, all right, Bacon might have written this, and we've got this reference in another letter, and we've got this similarity of handwriting, Then they start getting into the cryptographic ideas. Yeah. Like if you take the first 3 letters of each of this, and this letter is printed slightly larger, and look at this front piece, and if we trace them this way in this weird angle related to Freemasonry, look, it spells out Francis Bacon, which is very close to Francis Bacon.
Like, remember when we covered the Shakespeare cipher, where that guy had the cipher?
That's the drum with all the machine that he built. You get fascinated with this stuff.
He literally bankrupted himself trying to find the hidden freaking what was it, the manuscripts, the Shakespearean manuscripts that disappeared, and they were.
Imagine if he had the internet. Just a Commodore 64, just like I watched that video, Mark, one of the videos you posted. I'm getting through them, but the one about like the supercomputer, how Cray was developing this stuff. Yeah. And it's like, just give this guy one of those, and he really could have taken off with Shakespeare.
Well, he ended up trying to dig freaking under the Thames. He swore up and down like the manuscripts were hidden under the Thames River. I mean.
Oh, yeah. There's people that think they were on Oak Island, the so-called money pit. Yeah, supposedly that's where the Freemasons hid the manuscripts, or the Rosicrucians or something.
Mm-hmm. Well, you heard about the one about the Queen, and they suspected her of actually being Bacon's mother, even.
Oh, yeah. That's obviously Robert Devereux was the father. Her sweet Robbie. For Sweet Robin, certainly there's all kinds of evidence for that. And it's quite possible. If you read the Spanish diplomatic records of the time. Foreign ambassadors in London talked about the Queen being secretly married, about this Queen being pregnant or having children. This is usually dismissed as like, well, this is just Catholic propaganda, or they're just, whatever bad gossip they could find, they would repeat, kind of deal. It would not be impossible that Bacon was related to Elizabeth or wasn't. There are some odd things about the way his birth was recorded as well. He was the only child of his house to be called, in the birth, he'd have like Anthony Bacon was his brother and this and that. When he was born, it was Mr. Francis Bacon.
Oh,
it's kind of odd.
Yeah. Well, his death was even weird. And then, like, I started doing research into Shakespeare, and his death was really weird as well.
Same day as Cervantes. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah. Well, it's like the whole thing with his family too. Like they had to come up with ways of justifying why his daughter didn't get the inheritance and why, stuff like that. And it was like they tried to say that she had married a guy who was like homosexual, and he was arrested for bigotry. And
wow,
and
Okay.
and Shakespeare disowned her and her husband because of that.
They have records of any of that?
Yeah, it's actually documented about him and his daughter, and then it said that the only thing he gave his wife was for her inheritance was the wedding bed.
Oh, the second best bed. Yeah, that was very famous. He didn't think much of his wife, apparently.
Yeah.
He, I don't know. I haven't looked into any of this in a long time, but I know that the records that we have of the Stratford man, basically shows a, middle class money lending wool merchant. His father used to was basically a speculator in wool, which was, of course, highly illegal. But they did it anyway. And there was one point where the wool market collapsed. I think it had something to do with the 80 Years' War, or there was some kind of an embargo or something happened. And his dad lost a lot of money, I know. But I'm getting my other electronics are making beeping noises at me. Okay. There are so many electronics now.
Yeah.
I hadn't heard that about his daughter's his son-in-law, but I do know that one of the things I found very striking about him was that his parents were illiterate and his children were illiterate.
Yeah.
Now, when we say illiterate, we have to be careful. People forget that reading and writing were taught as two different skills.
Mm-hmm.
So, they go on about Charlemagne not being able to being illiterate, not being able to read and write. He could read to a point. I mean, he's a king. He's got to know how to figure out some Latin, but he doesn't have the skill of penmanship.
Right.
That was a completely different thing. But that being said, I know of no English writer or poet whose not only parents were illiterate, but who allowed all of his children to never learn how to write, which seems very odd. Hello, Tan.
Hey, Tan.
Hello, gentlemen.
We are here and ready, man.
How's everybody doing?
We are doing. So,
Just finishing off some work.
You're finishing off some work. You got.
Yeah.
That reminded me. How are you doing today, Otto? Because I know you were doing pretty bad with your health and stuff. Are you doing?
Oh, I've had a lot. I feel a lot better physically. I was very sick for a while, and really, really bad. I think it was a sinus infection. I was in a lot of pain, a lot of nausea, dizziness, and stuff. I think I was running a bit of a fever, but I'm feeling much better today.
Okay.
My poor mom is sick too, though, which is a problem. So I was finally well enough to go see her in the nursing home yesterday. She's been diagnosed with COVID, and she's not well.
Oh man.
So I talked to her today. I'm going to try to go see her in the next day or two again, just to keep up with her. And I am working at my dog sitting job. I have a dog not far from me. And the dog's owner is, in fact, going to be showing up this evening. So when we do the quantum gathering, I'll have to, we're going to do the quantum gathering, and we're not going to. I can't sit up until 1 a.m. after we do
That's
it.
perfectly fine.
But I should be able to do that. That shouldn't be a problem. So
That should be fine anyhow, because it's like, I mean, everybody's getting sick. I think the only 2 people who hasn't, or 3 people, is me, Tan, and Mark. And I think Tan, you didn't get sick, did you, Tan?
Not recently. Fingers crossed, knock on wood.
Yeah.
really,
But did Otto get some sort of a flu infection? Or?
I think that's what it might have been. It was all in my head, though, mostly. Fortunately, it didn't go down into my lungs. But I was calling it a sinus infection, and I think there was. I was feeling feverish. I never bothered to take my temperature because I'm going to be sick no matter what. But, yeah, I'm feeling much better now, though. Thanks.
So I'm gonna step away real quick. I gotta go use the bathroom and get me some coffee, and I'll be right back. Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Just have a little bit of tea.
How are you doing, Mark? Edworthy? How's your neck of the woods?
Depends on which area of my neck of the wood you're talking about, but
Wherever you are right now.
Personally, I'm okay. I'm fine.
Okay. Busy with work?
Huh?
You're busy with work?
I have been actually. Last couple of days.
What do you do? If you don't mind my asking.
A lot of technical support mainly. Network deployment, but mainly tech support.
I thought maybe you were just a prominent clubman. You're in your club now, the Babbage.
Yeah.
I'm at the Babbage, the senior Babbage club.
And spend hours and hours and hours on these streams. that seems to be more of a work sort of task than at the moment.
It's making you known in certain circles.
They'll be all good circles. I hope.
Well, you guys have not have other streams on other days. All your streams are now on today, aren't they?
Yeah, with the exception of the fixins, that's on Wednesday.
Oh, right.
That's the only point. But I didn't even make it last month. I was saying to Roger, I had a lot of stuff I needed to do, and then I said on MS Teams that I can join you tonight, but half an hour before we started, and Roger said that I really was going to go to bed, but I wasn't. I was going to I was in the middle of some task, but as soon as he said that, I thought, damn it, I'm going to get some sleep, and this can all wait till this morning.
What time was that in your local time? Like 2 a.m.?
I think that was the stream started at 2.
Okay.
My time. So
2 a.m. your time?
All
right.
Yeah, we started at 1:30. Mentioned it, I think. Give or take.
Oh, I disappeared there for a minute.
Yeah. I don't know if Will just mentioned this yet, but you remember Vicky, the Catholic that's on Vixens?
Oh, I don't remember. Okay, what about her?
Called a nice woman or something. Come back on. He's suggested to bring Vicky in on to your Book of Enoch thing.
Oh, That would be
Because
great. Yeah.
yeah,
I
because
don't know when we're gonna get back to it, but
yeah, because
but
she's
yeah,
very
that'll
orthodox.
be cool.
Well, yeah, I suppose orthodox Catholic as well. So
So is she Orthodox or Catholic?
well, she's highly Catholic, so I'm not sure if
Okay.
could call her. I'm not sure if she would call herself as orthodox or not, but
Oh, I see. Okay. So Catholic, but maybe an Orthodox Catholic. Orthodox. When you say Orthodox, it me. It's. I was thinking of church. Yeah. But okay. All right.
Ah, just had a message from V. Yes, after my health. That was very thoughtful of him.
Is he coming on, or is he waiting for the next
I don't
show?
know. I don't know.
I was in the middle of rolling my cigarette, so the Vicky is an Orthodox Protestant, but she
He's an Orthodox Catholic.
would she
So
call herself? Would
Yes.
she call
Orthodox
herself orthodox?
Protestant?
yeah she's
Orthodox Protestant?
not
no, she's Orthodox. So from the Orthodox Church.
yes
Okay.
yeah
Alright.
Orthodox yeah so that I mean, but the thing of it is like she's really devout Christian. You know what I'm saying? And I think
I think the Orthodox are the closest to the Catholic Church
yeah.
in all of Christendom.
And
So,
she really loves talking about the Book of Enoch too. Like
she does.
Yeah, she loves talking about it. So
she must know a lot about it. So yeah, bring her on.
she said that she has to do some stuff because she's been sick here lately, and
No, not today. We're not doing Book of Enoch today.
but like later on, she'd be willing to. She just has to let her head clear because of the medications she's been on. She's really. I think you two would get along a lot. Like because it's hard trying to find people that compare with you on stuff like this. You know what I mean? And like for me,
Because I'm a weirdo.
No, I'm a weirdo is what it is. Like me and V shouldn't be on shows where you're trying to be serious. Okay, just putting it out there. It's through now Otto and Vicky. Yeah, that'd be cool because they're more responsible. They think before they talk. Me and V cause trouble. And Mr. Robot, my suggestion, he's the same as me and V. So I would. That's just
okay. So definitely not today. I don't have anything further to prepare. I need to do some more homework on it before we can get back to it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, here's V now.
Yeah. You made it. Yeah.
Couldn't
stay away.
wait for me, huh? Couldn't let me know.
You heard us mouthing him on the stream.
Yeah, he was. He's like sitting there, just like he needs to be tagging me and stuff. Well, you know, I forget sometimes, man. It's cold outside. Leave me alone.
Maybe it's cold outside.
Yeah.
I forgot to feed the dog last night. It was cold outside.
I will be. I'll be right
I didn't
back.
wash the car. It's cold outside.
I'm gonna go and smoke my cigarette, and I will be right back. I just wanted to step in and because I knew you guys were I'm sitting here rolling my cigarette while you guys were talking about that with the Book of Enoch thing, and I figured I'd help Mark out with that because it's actually a good idea too. I agree with
it is. Yeah. So we got So okay.
So 10.
So we're still we'll announce when we're gonna do it, and then you guys can plan to join.
That would be cool.
It will not be in one of these roundtable. It'll be like a separate thing.
Right.
on its own. Yeah.
Actually, Otto, wouldn't this be a good fit for your pilot then?
For my pilot?
Whatever
Yeah,
that is.
your
Yeah.
pilot, automatic pilot then.
Oh, automatic pilot. Actually, it would. It would. That might be a really good
Yeah.
subject. If Don wanted to do that
Sure.
on the automatic pilot show, we've been doing that Tuesdays around 9 o'clock Eastern time here.
Tuesday, 9 o'clock Eastern.
Yeah, on Tuesdays. Yeah.
It could work. What did Roger want to do it on? Which of his stream did he want to do it?
I don't think there's out of that. I suppose you could do in constant gathering, but I can't see any other.
Well, I'm available other evenings too. I mean, we can record the show any day, as far as that goes.
No, Tuesday and Thursdays are great for me.
That's good. Yeah, those times have kind of become times that I use a lot. So I'm just rearranging. If you hear weird noises, I'm rearranging my electronics. I just came in from outside where I enjoyed a nice pipe of Kendall Dark, wonderful tobacco from Kendall. Sit in here and do my dog sitting job of sitting on the couch with a dog, which in many ways is the ideal job for me. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a good point. Righty. So Tan, did you hear that they're working on the beatification of G.K. Chesterton?
Beatification, yeah. I think I might have heard about it. Yeah.
That's interesting. The idea of a cigar smoking, beer drinking saint.
No, I think. Have you heard of any miracle that was attributed to him?
Not offhand.
Okay.
I've been waiting to hear one. I know that some people are looking into it. Have you heard anything?
No. But I can imagine, him being proposed for sainthood, because he's done a lot of good work for the church. But
he's also a bit controversial figure, isn't he? Because of things like the man that is Thursday and
the writing,
like
all of his writings,
he pushes
orthodoxy.
Terrorism.
Well, I think if he was going to have any miracles, it would probably have to do with conversions.
Yeah.
You know, I always say if he was around now, he would get me to mass. I would go to mass with him. I would hang out with him. I remember when I was reading him, when I first started reading him, because I'd read a couple of things he'd written, and I'm like, oh, this is interesting. And I started reading more and more, and then I forget which one of his books, and suddenly he was going to talk about pagans, and I'm like, oh, here comes evil pagans, this, that. And it's like, no, not at all. It's just, I'd rather talk with a robust pagan than a milquetoast Christian any day. And I'm like, all right, this man, he will listen to you as well as talk with you.
Yeah. I'm just thinking it wouldn't be canonized. At least not at the present moment, because it would be considered to be politically sensitive.
Yeah. He made statements that are arguably anti-Semitic. I don't think so in the context of his time and in the context of his, just his writings in general. But certainly he was very celebrated in his time by the church and by people around him. I've never heard of anything that I would call moral turpitude or anything, that I think would disqualify him. for being declared a saint.
Stick your.
But politically speaking, yeah, I could see where there are.
In the modern context, I sort of Jen said context. Yeah, what we might consider as being morally tame.
Yeah. And of course, he has a lot of. He has he's very popular with people that are traditionalists, I think, and that's a very, very strong element, I think. I mean, I don't know really what the politics of the church are these days, but I have noticed that there seems to be a disconnect between the laity, who have more traditional instincts, and the clergy, not all of whom, but many of whom have been taking this woke kind of approach to things. We have to update the church, we have to change the church, and it's like, all I see is they're getting rid of sin, and it's like, what good is a church without sin? Seriously. I forget who was saying. I think it was actually Alan Watts who said, he was a priest himself for a while before he left, and he said, the 7 deadly sins are celebrated now. The only thing they lecture you on maybe is a little sexual irregularity, but things like greed and sloth and envy, these are all very important to keep capitalist society along.
The church.
Which version of the church is this?
The Catholic.
Which update package is the
pagan church?
I was just going to say, me and Tan were having this brief discussion the other day about the Anglican Church, and if you see what's happened in the UK as far as the Anglican Church is concerned, including a new Archbishop, which is a woman. And all the wokery in relation to that.
Yeah, not so much, I mean, it's her attitude more than, her herself. I mean, if they want to have women as priests and bishops and so forth, I guess that's their decision. I think that itself is questionable from the point of view of the traditions of the church, but just her whole attitude of, again, it comes back to where people want things that are supposed to represent timeless truths to change. And if you're just making everything change with everything else, it's like you're never going to find any rest. You're never going to find those certainties that people look to religion for. Now, you can argue whether those are true certainties or not, but I'm just saying any kind of religion is supposed to be giving you certainty. It's supposed to be giving you a grounding. So if you're just changing the grounding with whatever the TV is telling you that you should change it to, you're not a religion anymore. You're just another affinity group. It kind of loses its punch.
I look at it like this. So, like, for like during a period of my life where I had a period of my life where I just didn't update my computers. I was too paranoid. It's like, they're just uploading crap to my systems, making it more vulnerable. But as time went by, I find I could do less and less things and less social things because my computer's not updated.
Right.
And I kind of see religion like that as well.
Okay.
Well, that's kind of hip and new and the modern way of looking at things, but the truth of the matter is that's not how religion works. I go the opposite direction. I think people need to stop trying to relate what these texts are saying to today's modern hip world. The texts were written according to that time period and for specific reasons. You know what I mean? And it's not our place to try to relate to what these texts are saying, because they're just straight out saying exactly what they mean. Like, women don't belong as head of the church because they should be subservient to the man.
Well, it's a little more complicated. I think, we have this. I've noticed this a lot when they say, well, I was watching a thing where it's like, men got to do this and this, and women only got to do this and this, and they were oppressed. But I think in traditional societies, it was simply that different work was assigned to different genders. there were different gender roles, and the church comes out of a very, very old tradition where men do certain things, women have some responsibilities, men have some responsibilities, and in the old days, every single member of the family was contributing. It was tough to just live. Everybody had to work all day. So this whole idea of oppression was like they were being oppressed by hunger and disease and war. That's who they saw as the oppressors. So when women were not, made into priests, well, I don't think anyone even thought about that, women or men. It wasn't the field that. There are religions where you had priestesses and stuff, but this isn't the milieu that Christianity was coming out of.
Right. But in Christianity, God does not talk to women.
Well, I know a lot of men that would love to be able to get away with that. When you're God, you don't have to talk to the women.
Well, I'm sure
he talked to Eve.
What about Mary? It's like
I was going to say the
mother of Jesus, but
I think that angelic visitation is in a sense the word of God. I know the tradition of Metroton is the voice of God.
But right at the beginning, at the fall, God talked directly to Eve.
Yeah.
So,
he said, "You should be ashamed of yourself, woman."
Did he not talk to Adam, and Adam was supposed to convey the message to Eve?
Well, no. Adam was hiding
when God talked to Adam.
Adam was hiding behind the tree in shame.
Adam was a wuss. Adam was there when the snake tempted him, and Adam and Eve was there when God talked to Adam. But then, he talked to him
and he tried to throw the blame. It's her fault.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Yeah, they all started blaming each other.
Yeah, you're right. I knew it was wrong, and even though she gave it to me, I should have been strong, but it was my bad.
That was a good rhyme.
Thank you.
You just rhymed that, dude. That was cool as heck.
I break into rhymes sometimes. I think it's my
auto rhymes.
Well, I have Irish genetic background, and I've got Penobscot genetic background, and both peoples are known for singing a lot and making up songs and poems and stuff as they work. So maybe it's a genetic predisposition to poetry.
That are using magic, doing your druid ways.
That could be for all to see. Aha, Mark returns. Best dressed man in the group.
Don't make me put you on my albums now. I'll do it. I'm a lyricist. I write music. I'm with dojohiphop.com.
There you go.
Nice.
Yeah, music label. So
nice.
I have not created. I have not recorded anything. I've got like 13 albums written down, but I haven't recorded anything yet.
I wrote a musical comedy play once, but I never produced it. I wrote the first scene or the first act, and then I wrote like a script treatment for the rest of it. It was a musical comedy play about Aleister Crowley.
See, now that's cool. That would be cool right there. That because like we've had conversations about that stuff. That's actually pretty good stuff to.
Well, after I wrote it, I looked at the first act and I said, no one's going to get this. There's like 10 people I know in the whole planet that would actually get my jokes about it, because it was all like very arcane, weird little references to like his life and things. And, he founded the neo-Masonic group called the OTO, the Ordo Templi Orientis.
Yep.
And their whole thing was they would do like Arabian Nights stuff. They dress up in like keffiyehs and burnouses and stuff and pretend to be, it was just like their little way they play dress up and for their ceremonies. So I had in the opening, because Crowley was always going on about him being the star in the West and all this sort of thing. So when he was born, we had three guys robed a la the three wise magi, the three wise men, and they broke into a song, "We three kings of OTOR, following our lovely star." These are all like references to Lamech religious ideas that it was pretty bad, but if I ever find it, I'll post it. I don't know what happened to it. This is like probably about 25 years ago I wrote this. 30 years ago.
Nothing bad about that. That actually sounds pretty interesting, to be honest. I mean,
I want an AI debate between Edgar Allan Poe and Aleister Crowley. That would be awesome.
I don't know. Poe was a whole different. That's like apples and oranges. He was a brilliant writer.
Yeah.
He was like a really brilliant writer. You know, he invented Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah.
All the Sherlock Holmes stories are basically pastiches of Poe's like Murder in the Rue Morgue with Lecoq. That was the guy's name, the detective he invented. Everything's there. The eccentric bohemian detective, his bumbling friend who chronicles everything. The logic, the calculation, especially the bohemianism. You know, the eccentricities. They're all there. And I mean, to be fair, Arthur Conan Doyle would be the first to admit it. You know, he did say that he took a lot from that. But yeah, Poe was brilliant.
Well, it's like I said too. He was probably one of the first punk rockers.
Oh yeah, didn't I say he would be emo?
No, emo's cool. Don't get me wrong. He probably would have enjoyed that, but his writing was just straight punk rock, dude. Like
he was screamo.
Well, you know, writers back then were like rock stars, man. Books were important. People didn't go to the movies or binge watch TV shows. So when your favorite author showed up, I mean, when Charles Dickens would go on tour, people would stay out overnight in line so that they could get a seat. You know, just like they do with rock and roll bands today.
Oh, really?
He would have standing room only. Yeah. He did these amazing tours. He was in poor health too, but he managed to get by. You know, they had laudanum back then. And he'd do his laudanum and keep going with the pace of the shows. He even had a special reading desk that he designed for himself, like a little combination lectern and table and stuff that he used specifically to talk.
Man, you're talking about Bruce Dickinson, right?
Charles Dickens. He's a well-known Dutch author, yes.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Charles Dickens.
I had to do it. I mean,
I know.
I had to do it. Man.
I know somebody that would have battled you to the death and swore up and down it was Bruce Dickinson.
Charles Dickinson, Bruce Dickinson, apples and oranges. You know what I'm saying? Come on.
Yeah.
And like the Christmas Carol, people don't really put that into perspective. The Christmas Carol wasn't like this holly jolly Christmas thing. Back in those days, it was a scary freaking show. Like people were terrified by that show.
It's a dark story, yeah.
You know,
it was funny though too. It was really kind of a comedy in a lot of ways.
Well, people were wussies back then.
If you read A Christmas Carol, it's interesting because every spirit he met turns into a hallucination. You know, he sees the one spirit and it looks like a candle and he puts the candle snuffer on top of him and the next thing you know, he's just looking at his candle on his night table.
Mm-hmm.
I think the most iconic one, at least for me, especially in my childhood, was Scrooged.
Oh, with
Bill Murray.
Yeah, I remember that. That was actually pretty funny.
the whole Grim Reaper thing, that was awesome.
For me, it was the Alistair Sim Christmas Carol.
Yeah.
That's what I grew up with.
I don't think I'm familiar.
Oh, you should watch it if you get a chance. I'm sure it's on the Internet Archive or YouTube or something, or both.
I have all of the ones I think that I like was the Scrooge, the one that was just called Scrooge. It had at the end of it, he ended up getting into that whole song and dance at the end, and
okay. Yeah. Of the what's the British actor? Actor as the corporal in Zulu.
Not Michael Caine.
Yeah, Michael Caine.
Michael Caine.
Yeah.
That I love that one right there, and I know it wasn't according to the original script in a lot of ways, but it was good. I mean, I like the idea that he brought a huge turkey to freaking what's his name?
Bob Cratchit.
Bob Cratchit's house.
Would it be turkey? Not that. Actually, the book states
goose.
Goose. Yeah.
That was the more traditional.
Yeah, goose.
We do eat turkey here for Christmas. in the States sometimes.
Well, if you listen to Mike, he will say that it's bad luck to eat turkey. But you know what? I love turkey, dude.
Why is it bad luck to eat turkey? Maybe bad luck for the turkey. But...
That's why I had to switch. That's why I had to switch it over to a demonic pig, because it was originally supposed to be a demonic turkey.